Okay, welcome back everybody to AP Physics today. Hopefully those demonstrations with the helmet and the melon and the egg and the sheet helped. Okay, so now we're talking about the conservation of momentum. So this is kind of like energy and mass. Momentum is conserved, completely conserved. So the formula that's not on the worksheet or on the AP sheet is momentum initial equals momentum final. Okay, so there's three different kinds of collisions that we're going to talk about. There's an elastic collision. In an elastic collision, kinetic energy is 100% conserved. So they say true elastic collisions only happen on the molecular level, and that would be from the force of electricity from molecules hitting each other, the force of the negative cloud around the atom is what causes this bouncing. It's like a spring action. Okay, and all collisions are really like a spring action at some level. Okay, an inelastic collision, inelastic. Okay, I'm sorry. Before I go back, the best elastic collision that we see kind of regularly, everybody knows, is a superball. A superball is about as good as we see in an everyday situation. So if we had a perfectly elastic collision and we let a superball drop to the floor, at this point would be the collision, right? And if it was perfectly elastic, it should return to the same height. We know that doesn't happen, but that's a pretty good idea. We know that superballs are pretty good with elastic. And it makes sense. Elastic, you know, that means bouncy, right? Inelastic means kinetic energy is lost, okay? So an inelastic collision is with deformation or deformation. So you lose the form of something. Okay, you might not always see it, but deformation occurs, which means you lose the form somehow. So if we're losing kinetic energy in a collision, where do you think that energy is wrapped up in? Heat, right? Heat. The increased random movement of the particles. Okay, so we see inelastic collisions when we see a car crash. You can see the deformation occur very easily there, right? It's broken. And then we have the other one, it's called perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic. And that means that, first of all, deformation occurs. There's a loss of kinetic energy. But perfectly means that the two things stick together and they have a common velocity. So it's like two train cars coupling, stuck together, and then they move together with one common velocity. Or a running back and a tackler. When the tackler tackles the running back and he sticks together with them, that would be a perfectly inelastic collision, and they then together are both moving as one unit. Okay, and then another definition, those are the three kinds of collisions. There's another thing that we need to talk about, and that's called the explosion. Okay, so an explosion then is when we have something that breaks away and moves away from each other. So this would be a block, an explosion happens, we have a velocity that way and a velocity that way. Now explosions can go in more than two directions, right? Explosions can go in all different kinds of directions. So if you have a mid-air explosion and you're looking for the black box that tells all the information, and you found a lot of the parts of the plane, like let's say that the plane is moving in this direction, and if it would land here. If we find a piece of the plane here, and a piece over here, a piece here, and a piece here, and we don't know where the other piece is, we can add all these momentum vectors together, and whatever isn't adding up to this, so you add all these things together, and it should add up to the first initial momentum. Then we know where that missing momentum is, and we can say, hey, there's something that has a mass and a velocity, so that thing should probably be over here. So we're going to go look in the clump of trees over here. So we might talk about that a little bit more later. But all this stuff has to do with momentum and how it is completely conserved. So let's look at a couple examples. Okay, so let's say that I have, we'll start with an explosion. Okay, let's say that after the explosion, and I'll say that this has 2 kilograms. After the explosion, 1 kilogram is moving this way with 7 meters per second. My question to you is, what's happening to the other kilogram? And you guys answered that correctly. You said that it must be going this way at 7 meters per second. Okay, here's the next question to you. What is the total momentum of these two pieces? 0 is correct. Because at this place, we say momentum is conserved, right? P sub naught equals 2 kilograms times the 0 velocity, right? So my P sub naught here is 0 kilogram meters per second. Because even though I have 2 kilograms multiplied by velocity, it's not going anywhere. There's no momentum. So that's the difference between momentum and inertia. You can have inertia without movement. You can't have momentum without movement. So we said momentum is a vector, right? So if we say P sub naught equals P, 0 equals, now let's look at the two individual, we'll call this M1, M2, M1V1 plus, which doesn't necessarily mean direction, right? It's just an addition, summation of momentums, plus M2 V2. Okay, so if we solve for this, we can say M1 V1 has 1 kilogram times, we'll call this negative because it's in that way, and conventionally we say left is negative. Okay, plus 1 times V2. Okay, so then we get a 7 over here equals 1 V2. Solve for V2, and it then is 7 kilogram meters per second. Notice it's in the positive direction because it's positive. So that's how conservation of momentum works. Each piece has momentum, but the whole situation together is completely conserved. So you ever step on a skateboard and it zips out from under you the other way? And you move ahead just a little bit, right? Let's do another thing. Sage, let's talk. So with that said, my question to you is then, what happens? Okay, so I just had my son here, and he pushed on me, and I was more massive. What happened? Our initial momentum is 0, right? After the explosion, he was going that way. I had 0 velocity relative to the Earth. So how does that work? Because momentum cannot be created out of thin air. So what happened is his momentum was there. My force of friction here was enough to hold me strong to the Earth. So the whole entire Earth, including everybody on it, then went that way with a momentum that was equal but opposite direction of the momentum of Sage. So of course we couldn't detect it. Okay, this whole Newton's third law thing now should be becoming even more clear with this. Remember, keep in mind, Newton explained his force ideas with momentum. Okay, so that's explosion. Let's look at, let's say I have m equal 2 and an initial velocity equals 3 in that direction. This one has m equals 3, initial velocity equals 0. Okay, so let's say that these have a perfectly inelastic collision, which means later they're going to be stuck together. Which direction are they going to be going? They have to be going in that direction. How come? Plain and simple. Well, because there's only one piece of momentum in the beginning, and we can see that its vector is in that direction. So P sub naught still equals P. P sub naught is 6 kilogram meters per second, right? Mass times velocity equals, oh, look here though. We don't have just one mass, but we have 2 masses. So now we have 5 kilograms at a common velocity, perfectly inelastic collision, right? So now we can say that v is 1.2 meters per second in that direction. Do you agree with that? Okay, so let's have another one. Let's say that we have 2 kilograms and it's moving 3 meters per second. And we have 4 kilograms and it's moving 2 meters per second. And let's say that these two have a perfectly inelastic collision. Which way are they going to be going when we're done? Well, we can see that this has a momentum of 8 kilogram meters per second. This one has a momentum of 6 kilogram meters per second. So, our summation of momentums in the beginning is 2 kilogram meters per second. Do you agree? So that's all they can have in the end. So if you're trying to find out what they're going to have, you're going to have a momentum of 2 kilogram meters per second in that direction. Okay, so we know that we have, what's our total mass? 6 kilograms. And our velocity is, we don't know, but we know it equals 2 for momentum. So our final velocity then is going to be 0.333 or something like that, right? I'm not exactly sure what the math is on that, but you can do that at home. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, so let's do one more here then, or 2 more. Let's say that we have 3 kilograms going 4 meters per second in that direction, and then we have 2 kilograms going 2 meters per second in that direction. And let's say after, so we're going to say that this is an inelastic collision, but it's not perfect. So afterwards, we're going to say the 2 kilogram is moving at 6 meters per second. The question is, how fast is the 3 kilogram going? Okay, so if you look at, P sub naught equals P, initially we have 12 plus 4, and they're both in the same direction, so we just add those. And then we have, in the end, 12 plus 3 times a velocity. Well, I think you can see what it's going to be now, right? So minus 12 from both sides, 4 divided by 3, velocity is 1.33 in that direction. So this guy is going 1.33 meters per second in that direction. Do you agree with that? Okay. Well, let's do it where the math gets just a little bit more jumbled up. Let's say that we have 4 kilograms, 2 meters per second that way. We have 5 kilograms, 2 meters per second that way. Afterwards, just hold on one second. Afterwards, let's say that this guy, 4 kilograms, is moving 1 meter per second that way. And this one, we're not sure. Okay? So, initial momentum equals 8 in that direction plus 10 in that direction equals a summation of 2 in that direction. So final momentum is 2 in that direction. We'll call that negative. And that is equal to 4 kilogram meters per second in that direction plus 5v. Okay, so if we finish this math out here, we can say that we have 2 kilogram meters per second, 5v, velocity that is equal to 4 meters per second in the positive direction. Let me just... decimal mistake, so it should be 0.4 meters per second in that direction. Hopefully that helps you complete your next worksheet that's due on Tuesday. Have a great weekend.